Taiwan's journey to democracy is a compelling story of transformation from authoritarian rule to a vibrant democratic state. This transition was driven by a combination of internal reforms, grassroots activism, and global pressures. 1. Japanese rule and KMT takeover. From 1895 to 1945, Taiwan was under Japanese colonial rule, which modernized the island's infrastructure but also restricted political freedoms. After Japan's defeat in World War II, Taiwan was handed to the Republic of China, ROC, under Chiang Kai-shek's Kuomintang, KMT government. However, in 1949, after the Chinese Civil War, the KMT retreated to Taiwan, establishing an authoritarian government and imposing martial law, which lasted from 1949 until 1987. During this time, political dissent was harshly suppressed, and power was concentrated within the KMT, effectively excluding the local Taiwanese population from political participation. 2. Rising calls for reform in the 1970s. Taiwan's transition began in the 1970s, driven by both internal and external forces. Internationally, the ROC lost its seat at the United Nations in 1971, a symbolic blow that underscored the island's isolation and fueled calls for greater autonomy and reform. Domestically, an educated middle class emerged, and calls for human rights and democratic governance began to grow. The Kaohsiung Incident of 1979, in which pro-democracy activists clashed with the government, became a turning point, highlighting the public's demand for change. 3. Ending martial law and initial reforms. In 1987, President Chiang Ching-kuo, son of Chiang Kai-shek, lifted martial law, allowing for political expression and the formation of opposition parties. The Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, was formed that year, challenging the KMT's grip on power. Chiang's successor, Lee Teng-hui, Taiwan's first native-born president, furthered the reforms, dismantling authoritarian structures and gradually liberalizing the political landscape. In 1991, Lee abolished the temporary provisions that had allowed KMT control under the pretense of an ongoing civil war, thus ending the government's claim to rule all of China. 4. First democratic presidential election and consolidation. In 1996, Taiwan held its first direct presidential election, a landmark in its democratic evolution. Lee Teng-hui won, marking Taiwan's shift to full democracy. This event underscored Taiwan's separation from mainland China politically, despite Beijing's opposition. Subsequent elections continued to consolidate democratic practices, with peaceful transitions of power between the KMT and the DPP, as seen when Chen Shui-bian of the DPP won the presidency in 2000. 5. Democracy today. Today, Taiwan is a thriving democracy with competitive elections, freedom of speech, and a vibrant civil society. Its journey to democracy has also played a key role in defining its identity distinct from mainland China, which views Taiwan as a breakaway province. Taiwan's democratic success is often highlighted globally, especially as it remains under constant pressure from Beijing, which seeks reunification under its One China principle. Taiwan's democratic transformation is thus a remarkable example of peaceful reform and resilience, turning a once authoritarian island into a beacon of democracy in East Asia. This democratic identity continues to shape Taiwan's internal policies and its stance on the global stage.